Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. In a growing nation of higher education opportunities, more available to the public, it's time that producers and research universities like Kansas State help inform the public about ag issues and educate producers on the best management practices. Today's episode is about the Beef Cattle Institute and the Food for Thought program at Kansas State University. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Recently, Farm Factor had the opportunity to visit with the Food for Thought program at Kansas State University. Take a look.
I am proud of our heritage. I'm proud of your heritage. It's worthy of grabbing a hold of.
Established in 2010, the Food for Thought program at Kansas State hopes to bring clarity to a world of uninformed consumers.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to be here tonight representing Food for Thought. My name's Hyatt Frobos. I'm one of the senior members of our group and was here at the inception of our organization in 2009 when a group of undergraduates, graduate students, and veterinary students came together, basically realizing that there was a need for more of us in agriculture to do a better job connecting with our consumers, as there's less and less of us directly in food production. And as a result, there's more and more opportunities for people outside of agriculture to maybe have the wrong message about what some of the current issues are and some of the ways that we produce food, and realizing that there's an opportunity for us to help set the story straight.
Food for Thought likes to grab a wide audience around the campus, community, state, nation, and world through the use of social media, including blog sites and Facebook and Twitter pages.
We've kind of established a place in the blog world where we blog weekly and do that, and then we have Facebook posts that go out. So we've really just kind of spread our wings and got our fingers out there and gotten lots of different organizations too.
They bring lectures onto K-State's campus that both educate the general public about agriculture and bring together people from across the College of Agriculture, College of Veterinary Medicine, and the agriculture industry. In honor of Dr. Dan Upson, Ph.D., and his commitment to the agriculture industry, Food for Thought named the lecture series after him. So
we work both on campus and off campus, but one of our flagship events is the Upson Lecture Series, which was just fully endowed this year, in particular by the veterinary school class of 62 and 66. And we try to bring in two visible speakers each year to speak to student body as well as people within the community about some of these issues that are going on within agriculture and opportunities to interact with consumers that maybe could bring them in for other reasons. For example, we've had Dr. Temple Grandin, had a great showing from her, and a lot of people came in representing the autism community, and she had an opportunity to talk about her experiences with animal behavior and as a researcher at Colorado State University, but also brought in a lot of people that were here for her as a highly functioning autistic person. And so we were able to get some of that cross-contamination and get some people that maybe learned a lot about agriculture, not knowing that that's what they were coming for. And so that's really the perfect example of what we try to put together in these Upson Lecture events. But just as important as our Upson Lecture events, we've really done a lot of outreach events in the past few years and going out onto other school campuses, into grocery stores, and interacting with consumers in other environments to really try to address some of these issues and misconceptions that exist about food production and agriculture in other settings outside of Kansas State campus.
Food for Thought recognizes all the issues that the ag industry and producers are facing, and they are trying to inform consumers about what producers are really doing for them on a daily basis.
There's obviously a lot of issues that are currently on consumers' minds. I would say genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, in the plant world are important. Antibiotic resistance and its use in livestock. Always cloning,
animal abuse, confinement of animals, housing.
There's a myriad of questions that bring a lot of consumers have questions about, and if we're not out there trying to set the story straight and provide the facts and a perspective from a production setting, then somebody else is going to tell our story for us, and so we're trying to fill that gap.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but Suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Recently, Farm Factor attended a lecture with the guest speaker of Bruce Vincent. This lecture was sponsored by the Food for Thought program here at Kansas State University.
I travel around and talk a lot to natural resource groups and other groups about leading the discussion over our nation's environmental future. And especially at places like Kansas State, we're a land grant institution where a lot of the students that are here are learning about natural resource management, whether it's agriculture or forestry, animal agriculture. I talk about how to maintain the social license to operate, because those of us that manage the environment for the consumption of humankind, providing food, shelter, clothing, we only operate with the consent of the public. So I talk about how to maintain that license and how to maintain that consent.
During the past 20 years, Bruce has given motivational speeches throughout the United States and the world. He has testified on natural resource issues before Congress. Bruce has been named Timberman of the Year in Montana, National Forest Activist of the Year, and in 2004 received the Presidential Preserve America Award from President Bush. His current activities represent a family commitment to responsible environmentalism.
Well, I'm actually a third-generation logger from Libby, Montana, and logging, it is a crop. Forests are a crop. It just takes us 100 years to figure out whether or not we've screwed up. But I was raised in a family with a deep sense of stewardship, believing that if we did a decent job of taking care of the forest, it would do a decent job of taking care of us and future generations. So we worked hard at learning from our past mistakes, the timber baron days, and how do we manage a forest for the future. But I went to college in Portland, Oregon, and when I went to school, I found out the rest of the students that I was going to school with didn't look at me as a steward. They looked at me as an axe-murdering Neanderthal. They thought I was killing the trees. They had no idea about management. So when I moved back home after getting my degree at Gonzaga University, went back home and joined the family logging company and started working with them, I also recognized that loggers, foresters, were losing our consent to operate. The public didn't know what we were doing in their forest, and they loved the forest. And they saw us as destructive instead of managers. So started speaking out about what we believed needed to happen in the forest so the public would have one in 200 years. And it kind of grew from that. I found out that the rest of natural resource managers, whether it's farming or animal agriculture or mining, we're all facing the same issue of a public that consumes but has no idea, no linkage to resource management. And so I started speaking out on it, and I've ended up here.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. This tip brought to you by Baytril 100 Enrofloxacin Injectable, now approved for use in controlling BRD in high-risk cattle. Baytril 100, right the first time, whether it's controlling BRD in high-risk cattle or treating BRD.
Hi there and welcome to today's On the Farm Tip, sponsored by my friends over at Bear Animal Health. We're going to talk about proper use of antibiotics in food animals. The first thing we want to make sure is that we have a valid veterinary client-patient relationship so that we make sure we pick the right drug for the syndrome or illness that the animals have. We want to make sure we have the proper route of administration, make sure that we have the proper dosage rates, and make sure that we're doing things that it says to do on the label. We want to make sure that we follow and adhere to label directions for the proper withdrawal time, meaning from the time I treat the animal until the point in time that that animal is clear or ready for slaughter. These are some things that are very important, and that's your On the Farm Tip of the day, as sponsored by Bear Animal Health.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Farm Factor recently attended a lecture sponsored by the Food for Thought program at Kansas State University. The guest speaker was Montana native Bruce Vincent. Listen to Bruce as he explains the problems with agriculture today.
Our biggest problem in rural America is that there is a discussion going on over the environment, how to protect it. And we've done a really poor job of defining what our role in that protection is. How can we be part of what the public perceives to be an answer to taking care of the environment? And some of the issues, most of the issues, are currently not based on science. They're based on emotion. They have no natural resource linkage, but they have an inherent love of the environment. So that's our problem. Talking with these people about very complex issues in a very complex world and putting it into their worldview. Because if they think they have to pick between clean water in Kansas and agriculture in Kansas, if they've got a functioning brain cell, they'll pick clean water. So we've got to talk to them about how they can have both. If they want healthy food and we want them to understand genetic modification, we need to make it acceptable to them. We need to explain to them the science of what that is. And explain it not in our language, but in theirs. They're the people that we have to work with. They're the people that give us the license to operate. And we've done a terrible job of that. Particularly in timber, we stood on street corners and shouted what we believed to be the truth at the public. And we should have spent a great deal of time listening to them and asking them what their issues were and then formulating our answer to their issue so that we could be part of their solution. And unless we do that, they're not going to allow us to operate. And I don't blame them until we can articulate our sustainable vision of their future, their environmental future. They think we don't have a place in the future.
Are being made by farmers and ranchers every day, offering perspective for those working and living in agriculture. about the business of raising food, fuel, feed, and fiber. Agriculture is now using tools like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to spread to mass influence.
I'm actually more hopeful now than when I first started speaking out a couple of decades ago, and it's because the American public is ready. They're tired of the doom and gloom, bongo drum beating, incense burning, planet is dying crap that they have been getting for decades. They're tired of hearing what's wrong and ready to hear what can be right. And in that discussion of how we provide for humankind and protect the environment, American industry, the American production culture is the green choice. We're not perfect. We've made mistakes in the past. We're making mistakes today. We're going to make mistakes in the future. But when it comes to comparing us to other places in the world that can provide the food and shelter for the coming 9 to 11 billion other souls, they should choose us. We're the safest, most productive, most efficient, most environmentally sound producers in the world. So our job is to convince the American public that we're the green choice. They should want their beef to come from Kansas and their corn to come from Iowa and their boards to come from Montana. We shouldn't import products from developing countries that are using methods we quit using 30 years ago and call it green because we don't have to see production. So my hope is that the American public will make the green choice and we'll succeed in convincing them that that's us.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica Inc.
Hey there folks, welcome to today's BQA Tip of the Day. Today we're going to talk about injection sites. The first thing, location of that injection. We want to make sure that we go in the target area of the neck, that's the triangle with the vertebral column, the point of the shoulder, and above the jugular vein. After we look at the location, we want to select the proper needle. I use 16 and 18 gauge needles most all the time for all injections of cattle. For sub-Q injections, I will use a 5/8 inch needle or a 1/2 inch needle. For IM or intermuscular injections, we'll use a 1 inch to 1.5 inch needle. Sub-Q injections should be administered at a 45-degree angle, and the IM will be perpendicular straight into the neck of the calf. That is today's BQA Tip of the Day.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
See,
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. E. coli in cattle is a serious issue for many beef producers, and the USDA is stepping in to help many farmers with their problem. The United States Department of Agriculture has recently awarded the Beef Cattle Institute of Kansas State University a $25 million grant to develop training modules in collaboration with a research effort with multiple institutions. A new series of new beef cattle online training modules has been released by the Beef Cattle Institute at Kansas State University.
The United States Department of Agriculture has awarded a $25 million grant on beef safety research. The Beef Cattle Institute at Kansas State University is working along with other collaborators from all across the United States on this project. There are 5 objectives to this grant, and the BCI is excited to work on Objective 5, Education and Outreach. Through this objective, the BCI has developed several online training modules covering all sectors of the beef supply chain, from pre-harvest to post-harvest. Our goal with the online training modules is to educate the producers, retailers, and consumers on beef safety to help keep them and their families safe.
BCI is eager to deliver this important tool for people involved in the beef industry to learn about preventing E. coli in beef and veal. BCI urges that producers keep a healthy atmosphere about their farm and operations.
For producers, it is important to clean your equipment when cleaning pens and feeding cattle. If you have to use the same loader for both, make sure you rinse it out and sanitize it properly. It is also important for producers not to wear their work clothes into their own home, as this poses a risk for their families of cross-contamination.
In continued efforts to raise awareness for grant objectives, the latest training modules focus on the 5th major objective of the grant, education and outreach.
For post-harvest, our modules cover proper sanitation of equipment used between carcasses, proper storage and cooking temperatures of beef, and also special considerations for personal hygiene. Personal hygiene and physical barriers such as proper clothing and hairnets is essential for prevention of cross-contamination in the post-harvest operations. Our pre-harvest modules cover the topics of feedlot, cow-calf, dairy, and veal operations. It is very important that producers are aware of different management practices that they can implement to help prevent the shedding of E. coli in their operation. Our post-harvest module topics are small packer, distributor, and restaurant.
The series is a set of modules available in both English and Spanish, covering topics of E. coli prevention and beef safety. Providing bilingual employee training will be a great tool for people involved in the beef production, from the farm to the plate, to learn how to do their part to provide safe, nutritious beef products.
All of our online training modules are available in English and Spanish. We feel that it is important that all of our producers are able to utilize all of our information.
BCI is hopeful for the future and anticipates many farmers using the website.
Our goal for the online training modules is to educate the producers, retailers, and consumers on beef safety to help keep them and their families safe. By implementing these practices into their own operation, we hope to eliminate E. coli in the beef supply chain.
Thank you for watching today's program of Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.